And welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a few days trying to get my schedule set back up. I know I keep telling you I'm coming back. I am back, and we are getting more gaming in. And here we are again with a little short stream tonight with some Final Fantasy XVI. But, as we play tonight, I'd like to discuss the thoughts on the Activision Blizzard merger. Looks like it's going to get approved. The FTC, tried their hardest to get it blocked. I don't really think federal judges know very much about gaming. So they look at it from a different perspective. And the perspective they saw was that it doesn't harm anything. If you want my opinion, I think two things can be true about this whole thing. I think legally it's not uncompetitive, to a point. I didn't really think they would hold Call of Duty hostage. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's the main moneymaker of Activision, along with a bunch of other of their mega multiplayer titles. You spend $70 billion on a merger. Why would you cut your own foot off? But we won't know until it gets underway. PlayStation finally signed the 10-year deal. Looks like this time it only is a guarantee for Call of Duty. It is what it is. If you're a PlayStation fan, it is concerning is the fact that, potential Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and Tony Hawk, there's a bunch. They have a very large library there. Those were really PlayStation staples, in the early days of PlayStation, as far as Crash and Spyro. And now, chances are, they are now going to be owned by Xbox and Microsoft. But again, I think two things can be true here. I think it can be legally... We'll pause here for the cutscene.
Just working on a pet project of mine. Though she's not above biting the hand that feeds her. Alright. I was hoping we might try and solve the mystery of poor Clive Rossfield. A bearer of the Sambrequois Imperial Army sent behind enemy lines. With orders to wait until it turned into a brawl, then slit the dominant's throat in the chaos.
I didn't know it was her. How could it be?
And so, to save her neck, you slit your sergeants, then set your sights on the hills. Conveniently forgetting how the Empire deals with deserters. Because with that on your chop, my friend, we both know you won't be getting far. You've fallen a long way, Lord Rossfield. I'll not have it said that I'm a poor host.
What do you mean to do with her?
Do with her? Why, nothing. Her life is her own now. If I wanted to use her, do you think I'd be talking to you? All I want to do is help. Dominants like her, branded like you. Of course, the realm doesn't approve, which is why we live in a cave. And it's also why we need help. From branded who know one end of a sword from the other. What say you, Clive? Will you join us?
Sid, was it? I trust that you'll do right by Jill. But until my brother is avenged, I must walk my own path.
Avenged?
My brother was murdered by a second dominant of fire.
Phoenix's evil twin. Oh, bugger me. Another rumor proven true.
I only stand here today because of Joshua. 13 years I've waited for this chance. I've slept in filth, drunk from a gutter, killed more men than I can count. You're right. The Empire will not suffer a deserter. This will be my best opportunity. My last.
Which is why you should join us.
I told you I'm not
Interested, I know. One of my scouts sent word there's a group of branded fugitives north of here, in the Imperial village of Lostwing. Among them is one he believes to be a dominant of fire.
Is he certain?
What say we go and ask him?
This doesn't mean I'm joining you.
Let's make ready then. You'll find everything you need down in the main hall, as well as a few things you don't. Have fun.
Okay. Nice little cutscene there. Looks like we're gonna go find a fugitive fire, dominant of fire potential. Anyway, what I was saying was, I think two things can be true here. Legally, the acquisition doesn't technically fall as anti-competitive because you can't prove what it's going to do to the market. It's all hearsay. How many people could possibly desert PlayStation for Call of Duty and Activision titles?
Oh no. Goots, was it? Perhaps you can help. Sid asked me to make ready for our mission. How does one go about that here?
Well, there's old Nan's place. On second thoughts, you maybe want to see Blackthorn first.
A blacksmith? To the forge it is then.
Oh wait, no, hold up. You'll be needing this. Blackthorn won't take no notice of you otherwise. Might not anyway.
Okay, so it may not be legally anti-competitive, but we don't know how the market will shift, if it will shift all that matter. I don't think it will. I mean, let's be honest, Activision really, they pump out a bunch of multiplayer games. That's kind of their bread and butter. So, why would you cut your market? I know Microsoft did that with Bethesda, but that's such a small change compared to, Activision Blizzard.
Are you Blackthorn?
What if I am? I've no time for idle chatter.
I'm not here to talk. I'll be accompanying Sid to Lostwing, and I need you to see to my equipment.
You could be accompanying the goddess Krieger to a holy bedchamber for all I care. I'm not lifting a
This guy's
finger for
funny.
you.
Is that so? Do you want that or not? I can take it back.
Damn you, Goots. All right. No need to be hasty. Let's have a look at you.
A way to a man's heart through his
I
his
doubt
liver.
That lot could stay a Moogle's fart. Bloody Imperials. They'd rather see their bearers dead than kitted out properly. I'll do what I can, as a favor to Goot's mind.
Alright, forging.
And the belt, Caesar Square. You want anything else, you bring your own materials.
I'll bear that in mind. Thank you.
A word of advice. Don't let Sid decide what's best for you.
I suppose I should thank Goots.
So we don't know how the market's going to shift. We don't know what Xbox is going to do. You know, a lot of their big wigs at Microsoft came out during the trial and said, you know, we have no intention of making Activision games exclusive. You know, but you can't trust any of these big companies. I mean, you can't trust Sony. You can't trust Microsoft. You know, money is not an issue for Microsoft. They have an endless pit. I mean, they pretty much print their own money, basically. So it's going to be interesting, you know. I'd like to hear your thoughts and comments. I know there's a lot of Sony haters out there because of the way they work their exclusivity deals. You know, but in all fairness, they're not buying up distributors of games, or publishers, I should say, you know, because they can't compete with what they have. I feel like that Microsoft basically said, well, if you can't beat them, let's buy them. And, I mean, that's a way to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The gift worked.
It's going to get you back in the market, get you out of last place. They feel like they're in last place.
Come on, nearly there.
I don't really feel like they're competing with anyone other than PlayStation. Nintendo, I believe, is his own market. And they're not competing with anybody, which is why I think Nintendo is so successful in what they do with their niche titles.
Blankets, quick as you like. Right, we make it comfortable while the bed's made up. Well, you're just gonna stand there? Someone fetch some water.
I'll get the bucket. You go and see if Otto needs out, eh?
Wait, me?
Get wrapped up in the club.
What the hell have I got myself into?
You know, what's concerning for the future for me is that I know these were all redacted emails that came out.
Who are they?
Huh? They're freed Imperial bearers. Who the hell are you? Shit, at this rate, he won't make it through the night. Think you can find your way up them stairs to the infirmary? We need Tyre. Well, go on. Shift your ass.
Was Ty the one looking
In the
after Jill?
redacted emails that all came out, you know, Microsoft's been bitter about being behind for years now, and they basically, even though they were redacted, so they couldn't be used in the court filings, which, you know, I feel like you should be able to use certain things based on discovery and purpose. But they basically said that, you know, they could just spend Sony out of business, and they really could. I mean, they could buy up enough studios and publishers if they were willing to sell. I know Activision Blizzard went to Microsoft with this merger, and, you know, so, but, you know, they could buy up enough of them to where, you know, it could really hurt PlayStation, and then that's when it becomes anti-competitive. So I think when I say with this deal where two things can be true, I think it's competitive and anti-competitive at the same time. You know, in the interim, now it's competitive because you don't know what it's going to do to the market.
Your friend needs her rest. There'll be time for tearful reunions when she's recovered.
I'm not here for Jill. You're wanted downstairs. There are injured bearers in need of attention.
Well, why didn't you say so?
I did say so.
I feel like someone could just use magic and cast Cure. Am I oversimplifying the Final Fantasy world here?
He's going to be all right. But I'll need to examine them both in the infirmary. My work's just begun.
Another fine day at the hideaway.
Do many of the bearers who come here arrive in this state?
It's no easy thing, casting off your chains. By the time most pluck up the courage, they're already too far gone. These two here are the lucky ones. The name's Otto. You need anything? You ask me.
Well, Otto, I do need some supplies.
Do you now? Then Lady Karen over there will be more than happy to help you.
Right.
Oh, and thanks. Be seeing you.
Not likely. I won't be staying.
Is that right? Well, for as long as you are here, consider yourself welcome. You helped us today, and we won't forget it.
Side quest.
Who are these people?
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so, you know, again, I think two things can be true about this. I think it can go both ways. We won't know really how it's going to come out until, you know, the acquisition goes through and they get some time and we start seeing things get pumped out. You know, it's very well that, you know, Xbox could just pull the rug out from under everybody and just go, you know what? They're all exclusive going forward. Like they did with, ZeniMax in the Bethesda games. They bought Bethesda specifically to bolster their exclusives because their exclusives couldn't compete with what exclusives PlayStation first-party studios were pumping out. And again, I know the exclusivity issue is a big hot button for people.
I need supplies for my journey to Lost Wing. Otto said you could provide them.
What's that? Does the newcomer think it proper to make demands of a poor old matron before even introducing himself?
It's Clive.
Well, Clive, I hear that dog is yours. Since he followed Sid home one night, I've seen to it that his chin's rubbed and his belly fed. Though I suppose that's your job now. Unless you lose him again.
I won't. Not again. Thank you for watching him.
So, were you gonna buy something? What? You didn't think I'd shower your lordship with my hard-won wares while you swagger about with a pocket full of gil? Life doesn't work that way, lad. Now, let's see some coin. You'll not find a better price than that. No discounts, not even for you. And be thankful you got that much.
That's all.
Why, you've barely a guiltier name. You're taking his side now? And after all I've done for you? All right. All right, I can make an exception. But just this once, mind. My stores are getting cluttered and I need to make room for the next shipment.
Thank you.
Thank me? Thank your dog.
The ladies love the dogs, right? Anyhow, we're gonna have to just let it play out. We won't know. We really won't know what's gonna happen. Or what Microsoft is gonna do. Some virtual battlescapes. Guess it's gonna make me do this little battle, a VR mode or training mode, basically here. Okay, how do I get out? Do I really need to do this? This is... I mean, they just stand there. There we go. Okay. Figure out how to get, why I need to.
You all done?
Leaving already, are ya?
It's you I'll miss the most, Lady Karen. It always is.
Don't stop you going, does it?
This should be fun.
Right.
Make for the Great Wood. Okay. But
There's a good girl.
anyhow, that's just kind of my thoughts on the whole thing. Anybody else who has thoughts or I comments, you know, feel free to leave them in the video comments, and you know, I'd like to get everyone else's opinions. You know, well, let's keep it civil as well. You know, I'm not trying to take sides here. I am a PlayStation person myself, I will admit that, but I feel like I can be pretty, you know, in the middle here. I do own an Xbox as well, so, you know, it's not like I'll be missing out on anything myself. I'll be able to play all these titles, whether they're on PlayStation or Xbox. PlayStation's just my preferred console. So, you know, I think with Microsoft's buy themselves back into, buy themselves ahead of the game, you know, okay, they can keep buying, but
what's wrong with a shortcut through nature's splendor?
You know, when are they going to put out, you know, something decent as far as a first-party exclusive?
Still exists is a miracle in itself.
You know, other than Forza,
We'll be back in Imperial.
You know, for me, I don't think their exclusives are that great.
You all right?
Never better.
Sounds like it. That there is a fine hound. Soon took to hunting. Fearless as you like.
It's good to have you back, Torgal.
Now, we don't want to be caught in the forest after nightfall.
I suppose not.
Sick heel ravage, interesting.
Did I mention there'd be deadly beasts? There'll be deadly beasts. Nothing a trained assassin can't handle, though.
How reassuring.
You're welcome. For that and his shortcut.
So again, you know, let me know what you think. I mean, if you're for the, you know, if you're for it, you know, let me know why. You know, again, I feel like there's a lot of holes in the thought process behind what Microsoft's saying.
Maybe they're friendly like Torgal.
You know, their whole, oh, we want to bring, you know, more games to more people and make the games more accessible, but yet, you know, they can sit there and make, you know, all of Activision titles exclusive. Well, then now you're not making them more accessible, really, if you think about it, because you know, you cut off, you know, the majority of console gamers game on PlayStation, so, and obviously they want to try to get some of that ground back. I mean, that's not a secret. I mean, they can tell you all that. That's not their goal. That's a flat-out lie. You know. Now, their whole method here of, you know, for me, making their own console, you know, useless is, you know, that's their own strategy, basically. You know, it sounds like they would rather, you know, just have the Game Pass app be on a smart TV and let you connect a controller versus just buy a console. I mean, if that's their method, then I mean, more power to them. It's a great idea, and I'm for it. Don't get me wrong. You know,
where he's from.
People who can afford
was one of the
to
first
buy
parts of Storm to fall to the blight.
$500-$600 consoles.
Poor sod. I'd invite him over for a cup of tea if I didn't think he'd eat the dog.
You know, I think there's a
Let's try and stay
misconception
out of
I think
off.
people don't realize with Game Pass as a subscription. I mean, now specifically with any subscription service, really,
Remember when I said there'd be deadly beasts?
you're not saving money by subscribing to anything,
And you only think to mention this now.
because you end up paying more over time.
Sick of Torgal.
You end up paying more over time for these games, and you know, as big as the Game Pass collection is, you're not playing all those games. I mean, let's be honest here. You know, I have Game Pass. I've played a nice handful of games on Game Pass. You know, you're not playing anywhere near the number of games they put on there. It's the same thing with the PlayStation Plus Premium service. You know, I've played a handful of classics and whatnot, and you know, I haven't played all 400 plus titles that are on there, and they keep adding more every week. It's
After you.
You know, you don't save money with a subscription.
kindly.
That's a fallacy that, you know, people think they see, oh, $15 and I can play a game. Yeah, well, for the month. You can play the game for the month, you know. Now, subscriptions are great if you don't want to buy games. If, you know, you don't want games taking up space on a shelf and you have no plans to, you know, to go back and replay anything, then, you know, the subscription service is great. But you don't save any money. I think it's a huge misconception there. I see it all the time. Oh, I get to play Call of Duty for free. Well, no, you don't get to play Call of Duty for free when it's on there. You know, it's $145, I think, for a year's worth of Game Pass. If you were to go, you know, what, 15 every month for 12 months. I didn't do the exact math. You got every 45 every quarter. So something along those lines, $125, you know. So, I mean, like, you could just buy Call of Duty for $70, and if that's all you're going to play, then why continue to subscribe to it? I mean, after the fifth month, you've paid more for that game than, you know, than what it would have cost you just to buy it up front. So, you know, again, I have lots of subscriptions myself. You know, it's all...
I can see that. Doesn't have to be a friend of yours, does it?
It's all based on, you know, what, you know, your preference is. You know, I have a music subscription. I don't want to buy CDs. I don't want to download a bunch of music. You know, again, you know, same thing with videos and cable and all of that, right? You eventually, you know, overpay and you could just go watch them, you know, where you could just, you know, buy it or own it. It's, you know, subscriptions are all about, it's not about saving money, they're all about convenience. You know, so obviously all of those titles all those Activision Blizzard titles going to Game Pass is going to be super convenient for people who don't have games, you know, don't want to buy games or don't have $70 to drop on a game at one time. If it's easier for you to manage $15 a month versus dropping $70 at one time, I mean, there's pros and cons to it all. You know, again, I think it is a little funny when Microsoft says we want, you know, more people to have access to these things, but yet you're gonna take it away from PlayStation. I mean, potentially. Again, we don't know this for sure.
What is it, boy? At least one of us. These woods. Thank you, Torgal.
We don't know this for sure. We don't know what they're gonna do. You know, they've been really clear on, you know, Bethesda games. We might get Outer Worlds 2. That's probably the only Bethesda or you know, Obsidian game we're gonna get, and that's just because we've had the first Outer Worlds is on PlayStation. I would be fairly certain we'd probably get that one. But again, you know, it's just a waiting game at this point. You know, they're going to hammer it out with the UK and, you know, get whatever the UK's issues are. The UK's issues seem to be more on the streaming part of it as to what, you know, their main issues were. Oh, excuse me. Alright, what the hell? Ah, here it is. And, you know, so, you know, they were supposed to close the deal either today or tomorrow. You know, I'm sure they'll just extend it, you know, because they're just waiting on the UK at this point. You know, I heard something about Canada. I don't know what the story is on that. Canada, I feel like they're a little late as far as they were a little late to not approve it.
This is stupid. I like wolves.
I don't think they care, Sid.
And
Sick of Torgal. There, boy.
Sorry, I can't focus on the combat here.
Get him, boy.
We just won't know. We won't know until it happens.
Get him.
And we got some time there, you know. The deal itself will probably close either end of July here or early in the month or early August. It'll probably be official. I mean, we've already seen that the New York Stock Exchange has removed Activision Blizzard, as far as their own stock. So I think I just went backwards. I did. I like that dodge. That's cool. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. Again, are you pro? Are you happy it's gonna happen? Some people think that Call of Duty is gonna get a massive improvement. Because Microsoft owns it now. I don't necessarily think it's going to change a whole lot. I mean, we've seen Microsoft have some flops lately as far as Halo Infinite and all of that. Obviously I want the games to be good because I want to play them. It doesn't really matter where I play them. A big ass fucking horny toad. Excuse my French. I'm kind of glad it's at the end.
You better hope so.
The end here, because now as far as gamers, we want to know what we can and cannot play, and where we can and can't play them. What is going to happen to all those games again? So
you know what to do.
just kind of just my thoughts on the whole thing. And
This time. Get him, boy.
got him. Stagger.
Get him. You know what to do. Don't let them get away. Give them all you've got, boy. Don't let them get away. Keep your distance, boy. Sick of Torgal.
Aye, someone's got the up.
Woo.
Where he stops, no one knows. I doubt he'll do that again.
Not if we kill him first. Get him, boy! Torgal! Too slow. Get the ball you've got, boy! Sick of Torgal! That's better. Farewell.
Got him. now we can focus on some Final Fantasy here. So we had a little boss fight there. That was cool. The game is just gorgeous. I mean, the detail on everything in the environment, the creatures. I mean, the players, the characters in the game is just really good so far. I could see why, they were ranting and raving about this one being one of their best ones.
You're dominant.
I am. Aye. Well, not by choice, mind. Old bloody Rome of strapping young lads. And it was this sorry sack of bones Rome who saw fit to home.
Sid, you say you want to help dominants and bearers. Well, what's in it for you?
What's in it for me? The same as for all of us. What we want and deserve. Save for our knack, dominants and bearers are no different from anyone else. The ability to use magic or summon great beasts should command respect, but instead has left us outcasts. Our kind are used and discarded like tools, yet we are men, so why must we die as less?
I see. So what you're saying is you want to start a war.
You flatter me, lad. But my days as a firebrand are long behind me. No, I only wish to offer our kind a choice. A place where we can die on our own terms. Huh? Clive, what exactly do you plan on doing when you find this dominant of fire?
What do you think? I'll show him the mercy he showed my brother, and cut out the tongue of any man who tries to talk me out of it.
All right. Forest dark enough as it is.
Oof. That was intense. Wow.
There, boy! Get him, boy! You know what to do, boy. Sick of trouble. It's over. Sick of trouble. Keep your distance, boy. Give them all you've got, boy. Don't let them get away.
Load me up on items. Like something gonna happen here. Okay. Different enemies.
There, boy. Too slow. You know what to do, boy. Sick of Torgal.
time.
In no time. Right.
Yeah. The classic kick to the chest to open it.
Quiet. A Royal Scout.
Someone's far from home.
Let's follow him.
And?
They're just down that way. All of them. Grieger's my witness.
Excellent. We move.
I don't understand. Have I not proven loyal?
It is true my liege values loyalty above all else. But were you not quick to betray your countrymen for the promise of coin?
She's fucking vicious.
That woman.
Benedicta Harmon, commander of Waloed's elite intelligences. If we can capture her...
You! Weapons on the ground, Imperials!
Let's get this over with then. Well, at least they're not giant lizards.
Keep your distance, boy.
Behind you!
Yeah!
thought we were Imperials.
Well, you do look the part. Oh, you fight like a true shield of Rosaria. And one blessed by the Phoenix at that. Speaking of which, I wonder, does the other icon of fire give blessings, do you think?
You don't believe me?
And lo, the Creator did make of the elements 8 icons to serve as keepers of the one law. Not that I've ever set too much store by holy doctrine, but on that point, it's clear. Fire has always had just the one warden, as of all the rest. A new one can't be born until the previous dies, and even that can take years. The thing is, you don't strike me as a liar. Which leaves but one person who might be able to shed some light on the matter. And they're in Lost Swing. As are our Waluda friends, I would imagine. We should hurry before it gets dark.
But what if someone discovers the bodies?
Well, and they'll be sorely disappointed.
The visuals and the fighting in this game is just blows my mind. I enjoy the cinematic clashes and everything. It just adds another element to combat. It really just gets you amped for the fight.
Arriving before sunset.
Oh, I didn't realize we were this close. Any idea what that is they built the village around?
The Fallen Ruin. I've heard some call it an airship. Though its flying days seem to be behind it. Shame, that.
You truly think a dominant's waiting for us in that village?
My scout has never given me any reason to doubt him. Which is why I think we should hurry. Come on.
This isn't the first time I've seen one of these. Perhaps I can use them as waymarks.
Interesting. That's kind of cool. Oh, there's the obelisks. The obelisks to fast travel to for local fast travel. That's pretty nifty. I kind of like that. All right, everybody. I think that's what we're going to call it for tonight. It is a weeknight, so... but we did get a little more in, and we're going to get some more in. It's a little hot, because of the summer right now, so it's hard to sit in the room and stream. It gets a little warm, but, I'll try to bring you some more content, when I can. Definitely this weekend we'll give you something else. So, again, like, subscribe, support. I would appreciate anyone who does anything they can for me. Even just, subscribing to my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitch. I just got my Twitter back up. My Twitter is at Fallen Assassin 7. Follow me on Twitter if you want. I'll post when I'm going to stream there, along with other stuff, gaming news and just, keep things, keep things fresh. A lot of people use Twitter, so for some reason I was locked out of it. I had to get back in, so. But that's where we're at for tonight. We are going to call it, and this is the Fallen Assassin, and I hope everybody has a good one.